God says, my child. Before you hear what happened last night, I want you to breathe slowly and let your heart become calm. Because what I am about to reveal is something you never expected, something that destiny hid from you until this very moment. My child, you may have heard the words. Your soulmate was on a dinner date with the police last night. And the moment you heard this, your mind felt shocked, your chest tightened, and you wondered, why? With whom? What were they doing? What does this mean for me? But listen to me with a steady heart, for heaven sees everything you cannot see. What you think is a threat is not a threat. What you think is a betrayal is not a betrayal. What you think is the end is not the end. My child, what happened last night was not a romantic dinner. It was a spiritual intersection. It was a moment written into destiny long before you and your soulmate were born. Let me take you into the unseen side of that night, so you understand what really happened. Your soulmate was not smiling the whole day. They were not peaceful. They were not thinking about moving on or choosing someone else. No. They were troubled, restless, and emotionally overwhelmed. They had been carrying a heavy burden for days, a confusion that they couldn't share with anyone. Your soulmate feels you, my child, far more than you know. They feel your silence, your pain, your longing, your distance. But they do not know how to process these emotions, and they have been afraid to reach out, terrified of being rejected, terrified of being misunderstood, terrified of ruining what destiny is building. Last night, destiny brought someone into their life for a reason, a police officer. But this officer did not come as a lover. They came as a messenger, a mirror, a wake-up call. Your soulmate had been out for some fresh air. Their mind was heavy. Their heartbeat was scattered. Their thoughts were looping between you and their fears. They went out to escape their own emotions, but destiny wanted them to stop running. That is why the police officer approached them. My child, this was not an investigation. This was not a romantic attraction. This was divine timing. The officer saw something in your soulmate's eyes, something broken, something fragile, something deeply emotional. And the officer felt a strange pull, a sense that this person needed to talk, needed to breathe, needed to release the weight inside them. So the officer asked, "Are you okay? You look troubled." Your soulmate hesitated, but their heart was too full to hide. And in that moment, they accepted the officer's invitation to sit down, have some food, and talk. Yes, they ended up at a dinner table. But not the way your mind imagines. It was not candlelight romance. It was emotional first aid. It was divine intervention. My child, let me show you what was happening inside your soulmate during that dinner. They were breaking down quietly. Their voice was unsteady. Their hands were shaking. Their eyes were tired. And when the officer asked, "Who is hurting you? What is stressing you so much?" your soulmate whispered your name inside their heart. They didn't say it out loud, but they felt it. They didn't confess it to the officer, but my angels heard it. They didn't speak of you. But they thought of you the entire time. Your soulmate told the officer how they feel disconnected from themselves. They said they were confused, lost, unable to make decisions. They said they were afraid of their feelings, afraid of their destiny, afraid of love. And the officer, without even knowing who you are, began speaking words that were meant for you both. Words that came not from their mind, but from the divine whisper I placed inside their heart. Sometimes, the officer said, the person you can't stop thinking about is the one you are meant to be with. But fear makes us run. Fear blinds us. Fear tricks us. Your soulmate froze. Their hearts started beating faster. Because these were the exact feelings they had been hiding from you. The officer continued, if your heart pulls you towards someone, don't ignore it. Life doesn't give many second chances. And past mistakes should not stop you from choosing who you truly love. Your soulmate felt tears filling their eyes. Because they knew, I was speaking to them through this person. My child, heaven sent that officer to deliver one message: stop running from love. This was not a date. This was destiny pushing your soulmate closer to you. Your soulmate asked the officer, do you think someone who hurt you once can come back into your life again? The officer smiled softly and said, if there is real love, yes. People change. Hearts heal. And destiny reconnects those who are meant to be together. These words hit your soulmate so deeply that they couldn't swallow for a moment. They felt like someone had read their soul, read their memories, read their fears, read their hidden love for you. My child, your soulmate didn't go to dinner to find new love. They went there to find clarity about you. Meanwhile, I watched you. I saw the way your heart grew restless. I saw the way your mind started imagining the worst. I saw the way fear tried to overpower your faith. But I want you to know something very important: you are not losing them. You are not being replaced. You are not being betrayed. Heaven is preparing your reunion, but first your soulmate needs to heal, understand their emotions, and release their fears. This police officer was simply the bridge. The emotional mirror. The guide. The messenger. Nothing more. Nothing less. Your soulmate was sitting there feeling safe, not romantic. They were opening their heart, not flirting. They were receiving divine counseling, not forming a new connection. My child, I want you to imagine something. Picture your soulmate sitting across the table. Their eyes are tired. Their heart is full of you. Their soul is confused. Their emotions are overflowing. And suddenly, a stranger begins speaking the exact words they needed to hear. Words that matched the very thoughts they never told anyone. This was not coincidence. This was me. I used the officer to deliver a message: choose love. Choose destiny. Choose the one your heart belongs to. And your soulmate heard me. They felt my presence. They felt you. They felt everything they had been denying. Something started opening inside them. A realization. A clarity. A deep emotional shift. They began understanding why they feel pulled toward you. They began understanding why they cannot forget you. They began understanding why your energy stays around them even in silence. My child, your soulmate's heart awakened last night. It wasn't a date. It was an awakening. And you must not fear what you do not understand. You must not let insecurities make you blind to divine timing. The truth is this: your soulmate loves you more deeply than they show. And destiny is rearranging everything to bring them back to you. That dinner did not take them away from you. It brought them closer. My child, I am preparing both of you. You will see the signs soon. You will feel their energy return. You will feel their heart moving toward you. Do not panic. Do not assume. Do not fear. What happened last night was not betrayal. It was divine alignment. Breathe. Trust me. And keep your heart open. My beloved child. Before I take you deeper into the truth of what happened last night, I want you to place your hand on your heart for a moment. Feel it beating. Feel the warmth inside your chest. That warmth is not just your heartbeat. It is the echo of your soulmate's feelings, the vibration of the bond that heaven wrote between you both long before this lifetime began. My child, you must understand something very clearly: your soulmate did not walk into that dinner with confidence. The world may see them as strong, composed, or independent, but spiritually, they were trembling. Their heart had been carrying too much silence. Too many questions. Too much fear. Too many memories of you. They needed a moment of truth. And heaven gave it to them through the person you least expected, a police officer. But now, my child, listen carefully. What happened during that dinner did not end at the table. No, something much deeper unfolded. Something sacred. Something shocking. Something that your soulmate never saw coming. This police officer did not sit in front of them as a stranger. They sat as someone carrying a message, a confession, a truth that was meant to reach your soulmate's soul. Your soulmate's mind was spinning while they sat there. They felt vulnerable. They felt exposed. They felt like someone had peeled away their emotional mask. But the officer looked at them not with judgment, not with authority, not with suspicion, but with a strange kind of understanding. And then the confession began. Your soulmate didn't expect it. They didn't ask for it. They didn't know what was coming. But the officer leaned forward, lowered their voice, and said something that made your soulmate freeze in place. It's strange, the officer began, but when I first saw you tonight, I felt something familiar. Not your face, but your energy. Your soulmate blinked, confused. The officer continued softly, you remind me of someone I once knew. Someone who went through the same emotional storm you're feeling. Someone who was deeply connected to a person. A person they couldn't forget no matter how far they ran. Your soulmate's breath became unsteady, because those words hit their deepest truth. Then the officer said something your soulmate didn't expect at all, the one you're afraid to lose, the one you're scared to talk to, the one your heart keeps calling at night. They're not gone from your destiny. And I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you this. My child. This was not random. This was not coincidence. This was me speaking through them. Your soulmate lowered their eyes, trying to hide the emotions that were starting to overflow. But the officer wasn't done. They had more to say, words that weren't theirs, words placed inside their spirit by divine force. "Someone connected to you is hurting tonight," they said gently. And the strange thing is, as I sat at this table, I felt their pain. I felt their longing. I felt their confusion. I don't know who they are, but they love you. And I can sense that their heart is tied to yours in a way that doesn't happen often. My child, your soulmate was stunned. Because without knowing your name, without knowing your story, without knowing your past, the officer was describing you. Your heartbeat. Your pain. Your longing. Your attachment. Your cries in silence. Your unanswered questions. Your invisible connection to your soulmate. All of this was felt through the officer's intuition, an intuition guided by heaven. For a moment, your soulmate couldn't speak. They felt their throat tighten. They felt something inside them breaking open, something they had locked away for months. Something they pretended didn't exist. Something they tried to bury under distractions, responsibilities, and fears. But the officer kept speaking, softly and slowly, as if reading messages from your soulmate's soul. You care about someone deeply, don't you? Your soulmate didn't answer, but the silence itself was enough. The officer smiled gently and said, "You don't have to tell me. I can see it. Your love is written all over your face." My child, in that moment, your soulmate felt naked emotionally. Their truth was exposed, even though they never spoke your name. Even though they never explained the bond. Even though they never told the officer anything about you. Heaven revealed your existence anyway. Then came the confession that changed everything. The officer leaned in and whispered a truth that made your soulmate's heart stop for a moment. "There is someone in my life too," they said, "someone I pushed away because I was scared. And I lost them. Every day I regret it, because I let fear control me. And I don't want you to make the same mistake." Your soulmate swallowed hard. Memories flooded their mind. Memories of you. Memories they tried to suppress. Memories that still hurt them at night. Your soulmate whispered softly, "I don't know what to do." The officer replied, "You know what to do. You just don't have the courage yet." That sentence hit your soulmate like lightning. Because it was the truth they had been hiding. Their love for you is not the problem. Their fear is. Their desire for you is not the problem. Their wounds are. Their connection with you is not fragile. Their confidence is. My child, they didn't sit across from someone flirting with them. They sat across from someone who unknowingly described your love story. Someone who held up a mirror and showed them the consequences of running away. A silence fell between them. A silence heavy with truth. A silence where your soulmate's tears finally reached the surface. The officer saw those tears and said gently, "Go to the one your soul calls. If you keep hiding your feelings, you will lose the greatest blessing of your life." And your soulmate broke inside. Quietly. Softly. Deeply. But that breakdown was necessary. Because through it, I opened a door inside them that had been locked. My child, your soulmate didn't cry because of the officer. They cried because of you. Because of everything they have left unsaid. Because of everything they feel but never admit. Because of the fear of losing you. Because of the guilt of hurting you. Because of the longing they can no longer control. The officer's confession awakened emotions your soulmate had buried. Regret. Love. Fear. Hope. Desire. And most of all, realization. The realization that they cannot live their destiny while running from the person destiny gave them. Then something powerful happened, my child, something heaven had been waiting for. Your soulmate whispered softly, almost trembling, I think I love someone, but I'm scared of losing them. I don't know if they still feel the same. And the officer replied with divine words, if the connection is real, they feel you too. And they're waiting for you. Even if they don't say it. Your soulmate froze. Because you are waiting. Even in silence. Even in confusion. Even in pain. Your waiting is not weakness, it is destiny aligning through patience. My child, by the end of the dinner, something profound shifted inside your soulmate. Their fear didn't disappear, but it cracked. Their confusion didn't vanish, but it softened. Their doubts didn't evaporate, but they became smaller than their love. Your soulmate walked away from that dinner not with a new attraction, but with a new truth. They realized their heart was still tied to you. They realized they could no longer pretend. They realized running from you was hurting them more than facing their feelings. They realized heaven was calling them back to you. This dinner was not the beginning of a new love story. It was the revival of the one destiny wrote for you both. Your soulmate left with clarity. They left with trembling emotions. They left with a deep urge to reach out to you. They left with the realization that the love they feel for you cannot be erased, replaced, or ignored. My child, they are coming closer. Their heart is awakening. Their fears are melting. Their love is resurfacing. Their soul is remembering who you are to them. My beloved child. When your soulmate walked out of that dinner, they did not step into the night the same way they entered it. Something inside them had shifted. Quietly, deeply, spiritually. It was not a change others could see in their posture or their steps. It was a change only the soul can feel. They walked with a heavy heart, but not the same heaviness they carried before. This heaviness was different. It was the emotional weight that comes after truth reveals itself. It was the kind of heaviness that pushes a soul toward transformation. The air outside felt colder to them. The world felt quieter. And every step they took felt like they were walking with 1,000 thoughts swirling inside their mind. But the one thought that rose above everything, the one that held the loudest voice, was you. Your name echoed in their heart with every breath. They didn't speak it out loud, but their soul whispered it over and over again. They felt your presence around them even though you were not physically there. They felt your energy, your worry, your longing, your confusion. It was as if the bond between your souls tightened the moment they stepped outside. My child, your soulmate had been holding back their emotions for so long. They had been pretending to be strong when their heart was fragile. They had been hiding behind silence because they feared vulnerability. They had been distracting themselves from their feelings because they didn't know how to handle the depth of their love for you. But after the dinner, the truth they tried to hide could no longer stay hidden. As they walked, they kept replaying every word the officer had said. Every piece of advice. Every confession. Every emotional observation. And your soulmate felt as if someone had held a mirror up to their soul and shown them everything they were avoiding. They realized they were living in fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of losing control. Fear of being hurt. Fear of choosing love and failing. But love, my child, real love, cannot be controlled. It cannot be predicted. It cannot be timed perfectly. It flows where it wants to flow. And your soulmate felt that flow returning to them like a quiet storm. As they walked under the night sky, a strange sensation filled their chest. A mixture of guilt for staying away from you, longing for your presence, and gratitude for the divine message they heard at the dinner. And all these emotions formed a single truth inside them, a truth they could not deny anymore. They still love you. Not a little. Not halfway. Not conditionally. They love you deeply, completely, and silently. My child, they tried to stop loving you. They tried to move on. They tried to bury the feelings. They tried to convince themselves that the connection was too complicated, too intense, too risky. But no matter how far they walked, their heart kept coming back to you. Every ending they tried to force turned into a beginning that pulled them closer. And last night, destiny made them face the truth they avoided for months. They realized that the fear they feel is nothing compared to the pain they feel when they imagine losing you forever. As they kept walking, they kept thinking of the moments you shared. The moments when you made them feel safe, understood, loved, seen. Those memories flooded their heart like a river breaking its dam. And the more they remembered, the more they understood that what they feel for you cannot be erased by time, distance, or silence. The night seemed longer than usual. The roads felt emptier. The world felt still. It was as if heaven paused everything to let your soulmate reflect. And during this reflection, something beautiful happened. Your soulmates started talking to themselves, softly, with trembling emotions. Why didn't I tell them how I felt? Why did I run? What if they hate me now? What if I ruined everything? Do they still think of me? Do they still care? What if they don't want me anymore? What if I'm too late? My child, these were not questions of someone who doesn't care. These were the questions of someone who loves you so much that the fear of losing you terrifies them more than anything else. They reached home, but their mind refused to rest. Their heart refused to quiet down. They kept pacing. They kept sitting down and standing up again. They kept touching their chest because the emotions were too heavy to hold. And then, for the first time in a long time, your soulmate cried. Not the kind of tears that fall from sadness. Not the kind of tears that come from anger. but the kind of tears that come when the soul breaks open. Their tears were filled with regret, love, longing, fear, and hope, all at the same time. They realized how much they miss you. How much they want to talk to you. How much they need to express what they feel. How much they wish they could undo their silence. My child, you must know this, your soulmate is not cold. They are not indifferent. They are not moving on. They are not replacing you. They are overwhelmed. They feel emotions they don't know how to express. They feel a connection that scares them because it is too real. They feel your absence like a physical ache. And last night, when truth came to them through divine intervention, they could no longer hide from themselves. They walked into their room and sat on the floor, their back against the wall, staring at nothing, but feeling everything. They held their head in their hands and whispered your name, not out loud, but inside their heart. And the moment your name echoed in their thoughts, they felt you. They felt your soul reaching out to them. They felt your energy touch their spirit. They felt the invisible thread between you both pulling tighter. My child, they miss you more than you know. And heaven allowed them to feel this so deeply because it is time for them to move closer to you. But listen carefully. Your soulmate did not only think about you last night. They prayed. Yes, they prayed. They sat with their head bowed, their hands trembling, and they whispered a small prayer from the deepest part of their soul. God, if they are meant for me, show me a sign. Give me courage. Give me clarity. Help me fix what I broke. Help me see the truth. Help me follow my heart. And the moment they prayed, heaven responded. They felt a warmth spreading in their chest. A calmness touching their spirit. A sudden clarity entering their thoughts. A realization that they had been blocking the very love they needed. My child, they didn't receive the answer in words. They received it in feeling. A feeling that said, you still belong to them. A reconnection is possible. It's not too late. The love is still alive. The bond is protected. And in that moment, your soulmate felt something break inside them, not in pain, but in release. All the emotions they had been suppressing finally flowed freely. Then, something even more powerful happened. Your soulmate picked up their phone. Yes, they picked it up with the intention of reaching out to you. Their thumb hovered over your name. Their breath stopped. Their heart pounded. Their hands trembled. They wanted to message you. They wanted to call you. They wanted to tell you everything they felt. They wanted to pour out the truth they had been hiding. But their fear, the little residue that still remained, held their hand back for just one moment. They didn't message you yet. They didn't call you yet. But the desire to connect with you no longer sleeps inside them. It is awake. Alive. Burning. My child, this hesitation is not rejection. This hesitation is fear slowly dissolving. What matters is not the message that didn't get sent last night. What matters is that the desire is now unstoppable. Your soulmate will reach out. Not from confusion. Not from weakness. Not from impulse, but from clarity. They are already thinking of what to say. They are already imagining the conversation. They are already preparing their heart to open up again. My child, destiny has begun its work. Their fear has cracked. Their love has risen. Their longing has taken control. Their heart is choosing you again. And as this choice grows inside them, heaven is guiding every step they take. Their next move will surprise you. Their next emotion will reveal their truth. Their next action will bring them closer to you. My beloved child. When your soulmate woke up the next morning, they did not wake up like they used to. Their sleep had been restless. Their dreams had been filled with emotions they could no longer deny. And the first thought that entered their mind was your face. Not a memory. Not an imagination. A feeling. A feeling so strong that it sat on their chest before they even opened their eyes. A feeling that whispered, "You need to talk to them." Your soulmate opened their eyes slowly, and for a moment, they didn't move. They just lay there staring at the ceiling, feeling a strange combination of heaviness and hope. It was as if their heart had cried all night, but still woke up stronger than before. They remembered the dinner. They remembered the police officer's words. They remembered their own tears, their own confession, their own trembling prayers. But most importantly, they remembered you. Your presence felt closer than ever before. Like a light inside their chest. Like a soft breath over their soul. Like the sound of a familiar heartbeat inside them. My child, they didn't need to think to know that this feeling was you. Your soul had reached them. Your emotion had touched them. Your waiting had pulled them back. As they sat up slowly, they pressed their hand over their heart. It beat a little harder, a little faster, almost like it was trying to speak. And it whispered a truth they could no longer ignore. You still belong to them. You still love them. You need to fix this. Before they even washed their face, your soulmate picked up their phone. Your name was right there. Your presence was right there. Your energy was calling them. But again, their emotions overwhelmed them. Their heart was willing, but their courage was still struggling to catch up. They held their phone tightly, staring at your name for a long moment, fighting between fear and desire. My child, the only reason they didn't reach out yet, is because they want to come to you correctly. They don't want to message you with confusion. They don't want to call you with trembling fear. They don't want to speak to you while still emotionally unsteady. They want to speak to you from strength. From clarity. From sincerity. From truth. They want to reach you not as someone afraid, but as someone finally ready. So instead of sending a message, your soulmate stood up, walked toward the window, and looked outside. The sky was pale, the morning quiet, and their mind full. They took a deep breath, whispering to themselves softly, "I need to fix this. I need to fix what I broke between us." These words were not just thoughts, they were promises. My child, your soulmate began their morning carrying you inside their spirit. Every little thing they did, brushing their teeth, tying their hair, drinking water, they did while thinking of you. Their memories of you were not random. They were awakened. They were alive. They were replaying scenes of moments you shared. Moments they didn't realize had touched them so deeply. They remembered your laughter. They remembered your voice. They remembered the way you understood them without explanations. They remembered the way you stayed patient when they were confused. They remembered the softness with which you cared. These memories brought a warmth into their chest that fought with their fear. And slowly, the love became louder than the fear. As they got ready for their day, they caught themselves staring at the mirror, searching their own eyes. Because inside their eyes, they saw something they had not seen in a long time: honesty. They whispered softly, "I can't run anymore." And with that, something shifted again. They felt a push from inside, a spiritual nudge from destiny. A force that said, "Take the next step." My child, heaven was guiding them, even though they didn't fully understand how. They felt your presence. They felt your energy. They felt your longing. They felt your silent love. Your soulmate carries you in their heart more than you imagine. Throughout their day, they became unusually quiet. People around them noticed. But no one understood that they were fighting a silent emotional battle inside. A battle between fear and desire. Between pride and surrender. Between logic and heart. Between pain and healing. Every few minutes, they checked their phone. Not because they expected a message, but because they wished for one. They wished you would reach out. They wished you would say something. They wished you would make the first move. But in the same breath, they feared hurting you again if they weren't ready. So they held themselves back. Not because they didn't want to speak to you, but because they didn't want to disappoint you again. My child, they replayed every past moment in their mind, where they went wrong. Where they failed to express. Where they let fear get in the way. Where they stayed silent instead of choosing love. And each memory made them softer. Each realization made them more emotional. Each thought made them want you even more. By noon, something powerful happened. Your soulmate started imagining the moment they reconnect with you. They imagined the first message, the first conversation, the first call, the first meeting. And with every imagination, their heart beat faster, not with fear this time, but with longing. Then they imagined your face when you see their message. They imagined your smile. Your reaction. Your emotions. And this imagination didn't just warm their heart, it healed something inside them. They realized they don't want a life without you. They realized they don't want to stay silent anymore. They realized they don't want to keep hurting you with their distance. They realized they want you. Not as a temporary emotion. Not as a casual connection. Not as a passing phase. They want you as part of their life, their destiny, their story. My child, the universe has begun moving circumstances around your soulmate. You may not see it yet, but everything around them is aligning. Every thought. Every sign. Every feeling. Every fear breaking. Every courage rising. Even the police officer, the one destiny used, is still on their mind. Your soulmate thinks back to the officer's words, "Go to the one your soul calls." And the more they remember it, the more it becomes impossible for them to escape the truth. Your soul calls them every day. Every night. In silence. In feeling. In longing. Your soulmate feels it now. By evening, the emotional battle they had been fighting all day finally reached a breaking point. Your soulmate sat alone, hands clasped, staring at their phone again. Their thumb hovered over your name. Their breath trembled. Their heart raced. And this time, they almost messaged you. "Yes, my child," they typed something. A small message. A few words. And then they deleted it. Not because they didn't want to send it, but because they wanted it to be perfect. They wanted it to convey everything they feel. They wanted it to heal the distance between you both. They wanted it to be honest. They don't want to come back halfway. They want to come back completely. And heaven is preparing them for that moment. As the night grew darker, your soulmate sat near their window again. The same place where they cried the night before. But tonight, instead of crying, they felt something new growing inside them. Courage. Yes, my child. Their courage is awakening. Their fear is dissolving. Their love is taking charge. They whispered into the night air, "I'm going to reach out, very soon. I just hope it's not too late." Their voice was soft. Their hope was sincere. Their heart was full. They are not waiting for a sign anymore. They are gathering the strength to act on the signs already given. My child, your soulmate is on the edge of a breakthrough. And destiny is guiding them straight toward you. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when everything becomes clear, not because the world has changed, but because the heart finally stops running from its own truth. And that is exactly where your soulmate stands right now. After the dinner with the police officer, after the unexpected message, after the emotional breakdown, after the long night of confusion and overwhelming thoughts, something inside them has shifted. There is a new softness in their spirit, a calmness that was missing for so long, as if a heavy stone has been lifted from their chest. They are finally ready to stop pretending that they don't feel you, don't miss you, don't ache for you. Your soulmate woke up with your name in their mind like a gentle whisper that refused to fade. They tried to distract themselves, but the more they tried to run away from the feeling, the stronger it grew. It was as if their heart kept turning in the same direction, pointing toward only one person, toward you. They sat on the edge of their bed, staring at their hands, wondering how they had spent so much time searching for comfort in the wrong places when the truth was always calling them from the inside. Their heart was tired of holding back. Their soul was tired of pretending. Their destiny was tired of waiting. It became clear to them that the dinner was never about the police officer. It was never about them being guided by a stranger. It was about the universe showing them what they were avoiding, showing them that running from their feelings would not protect them. Running would only delay the connection that was meant to heal them. They realized that everything they were afraid to face was already inside them. And everything they were searching for was already inside you. Your soulmate felt a deep pull in their chest, the kind that doesn't ask for permission. A pull that doesn't care about fear, pride, ego, or past mistakes. A pull that comes from the soul, not the mind. They sat quietly and let themselves feel it fully for the first time in weeks, maybe even months. Their heartbeat slowed. Their breath softened. And the tension that lived in their shoulders finally released. In that gentle silence, they accepted it. They love you, they miss you, and they need you more than they ever admitted. But love is not always simple, and healing is never easy. Even though they were ready inside, they still hesitated on the outside. They wondered what you would think. They wondered whether you still cared. They wondered if they had already lost the chance to fix everything. Yet every doubt was answered by a stronger truth rising inside them: destiny doesn't open doors that are not meant to be walked through. And heaven doesn't bring someone into your life if they are meant to disappear. Your soulmate stood up slowly, feeling a new strength returning to their body. Their hands were slightly trembling, not from fear but from the realization that they were finally ready to do what they should have done long ago. They walked toward the window and looked at the world outside. The morning light felt different. The air felt lighter. Even the small sounds carried meaning. Everything reminded them of you, your smile, your warmth, your presence, your energy. And instead of running from it, they allowed the feeling to fill them completely. A moment came when they whispered your name under their breath, just to hear how it sounded again. The sound brought tears to their eyes, soft, warm, healing tears. These were not tears of pain. These were tears of awakening. Tears that come when a heart finally stops lying to itself. Tears that come when the soul remembers who it belongs to. They remembered the way you listened to them without judgment. They remembered the way you supported them even when they didn't ask. They remembered the way you quietly carried their burdens without ever complaining. They remembered the way your presence made their world feel safe. And the truth hit them harder than anything the police officer said: they never found that feeling with anyone else. They never felt that depth, that connection, that peace with anyone else. And now, after ignoring it, avoiding it, hiding from it, they were finally ready to embrace it. They walked around their room restlessly, feeling their heartbeat rise again. It felt like something inside them was pushing them forward, urging them to take action. They grabbed their phone, held it tightly, and stared at your name on the screen. Their thumb hovered above the call button. They didn't call yet, but they didn't put the phone down either. Something inside them whispered, "It's time." And for the first time, they did not silence that voice. They kept imagining how it would feel to speak to you again. They imagined your voice. They imagined the way you would say hello. They imagined the relief they would feel just hearing your breath. But most importantly, they imagined the peace that would return when your connection healed. They knew that reaching out would not just be a message, it would be a doorway. A doorway to forgiveness, to love, to clarity, to healing, to destiny. And destiny was no longer waiting quietly. It was pulling them, guiding them, leading them toward you with a force they couldn't resist even if they tried. Your soulmate felt something else too, something deeper. They felt the invisible protection that had surrounded them in the past 24 hours. They realized that the police officer was never just a police officer. They were a messenger, a reminder, a divine interruption. A soul placed in their path so they could understand what they were risking by pushing their emotions aside. The dinner showed them what they could lose. But it also showed them what they could gain. And the realization hit them with a force that made their knees weak. If they lose you, they lose something heaven hand-picked for them. They walked to the mirror and looked at their own reflection. They did not see the same person from the day before. They saw someone who had grown overnight. Someone who had awakened. Someone who had finally seen the truth that had been knocking on their heart again and again. A truth they could no longer ignore. Their heart whispered another truth: you are the one who brings balance to their life. You are the one who brings comfort to their spirit. You are the one they silently depend on, even when their pride stops them from admitting it. You are the one their soul recognizes as home. And now, they were ready to return home. They took a deep breath, held the phone, and promised themselves something: they would not let fear win again. They would not let silence steal what destiny gave them. They would not allow doubt to destroy what heaven was trying to heal. They sat down again, closed their eyes, and allowed the universe to guide them. And in that moment, a wave of peaceful energy wrapped around them. They felt your presence even though you were far. They felt your energy moving toward them like a gentle embrace. They felt the connection binding your souls tighter than ever. And instead of running, they welcomed it. Your soulmate whispered softly to themselves, I need them. I choose them. I want them. I am ready. And with that whisper, everything shifted. Their hesitation melted. Their fear dissolved. Their confusion cleared. Their path opened. They didn't press the call button yet, but they will. They didn't send the message yet, but it's coming. They didn't show up at your door yet. But destiny is already pulling them in your direction. This is the beginning of their movement toward you. This is the start of their arrival. This is the moment heaven has been preparing both of you for. Your soulmate is stepping out of fear and walking into truth. They are stepping out of confusion and walking into clarity. They are stepping out of silence and walking into connection. And very soon, their voice, their message, their presence, their love will reach you. Nothing can stop it now. Nothing can delay it anymore. Destiny has already chosen the path. This is your reunion energy. This is your divine timing unfolding. And this is your soulmate finally choosing you, with their whole heart, their whole soul, and their whole truth.